Is Epcot's new $65 bottomless mimosa breakfast worth it? We are here at Chefs de France to find out. For the Food and Wine Festival, there is a brand new offering here in the France Pavilion. Chefs de France is offering a Parisian breakfast on Fridays and Saturdays, complete with pastries, charcuterie, cheeses, fruit, smoked salmon, and most importantly, bottomless mimosas. Now, this breakfast does come with a hefty price tag of $65, in which you do have to pay for upon making the reservation. I'm not sure just how many carbs you can consume for that price, but we're about to find out. And since there is only one seating, guests are already lined up outside of Chefs de France, waiting to go in. You know, I definitely expected that. This is going to be a very popular offering, especially since it's only offered during Fridays and Saturdays, only 2 days of the week during the Food and Wine Festival. You know, maybe if it's really popular, they end up keeping it around after the Food and Wine Festival. We shall see. But for now, it is only available during the Food and Wine Festival, and actually it is completely booked up for the month of September. I did see some October availability, and actually I went to check the My Disney Experience app last night, and I saw some availability for breakfast this morning. So if you were hoping to book a reservation for this breakfast, try and check the night before you want to come. That's when you'll probably have the best of luck of finding a reservation here. Just because it is so popular, always check the night before. I think we're gonna hop in line and get ready for some breakfast, some carbs. And wow, they are really having us wait until 9 o'clock on the dot. It's 9, they haven't seated a single soul in that restaurant, and this line is way past me. At this point, it's actually past the Brazil booth, so not a good start to the breakfast here.
Hello.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Bonjour, madame.
Okay, as soon as we walked in, we were greeted with a mimosa, so we love to see that, and I definitely need a sip for what I am about to tell you. At least it's strong. There is just a tiny bit of orange juice in this. Thank God. Okay, so it took about a little over 10 minutes to actually wait in that line and be seated, and it's about 9:15 right now, and there is still a line outside of people waiting to be seated, which this wouldn't necessarily be an issue if this wasn't a timed dining experience. However, this ends at about 10:30, so you're expecting people to guzzle down $65 worth of mimosas and pastries in an hour and a half, but you're not even giving them an hour and a half to do so because you're having them stand outside in the sun and sweat for the first 15 minutes of their reservation. Again, this wouldn't really be much of an issue if this wasn't timed. However, you have every single person arriving here at the same time because there is only one reservation time at 9 o'clock. So if you are going to do that, I feel like they need to open the restaurant 15 minutes early. Open at 8:45, start seating people so that you can get through everyone and you can have everyone who arrives here early, arrives here on time for the reservation seated so they can enjoy the full experience for the amount of time that they paid to be in this restaurant. I need another sip for the second thing I am about to tell you. You are seated with other people at this breakfast. They have crammed so many tables into this room that you can barely walk through it. You are weaving in and out of tables just to get to your chair, and they expect everyone to sit with other people. For a $65 breakfast, in my opinion, that is unacceptable. Now, to be fair, it does say that on the page when you are making your reservation. However, I didn't expect parties of 2 to just be seated with other parties of 2 at like a square table for 4. I think that is just absolutely uncalled for and absurd, especially for $65. Like, this is an expensive brunch, and to me, that's like very uncomfortable. I don't know about you guys, but that's not a relaxing brunch for me. That's not necessarily how I want to start my day, sitting with strangers. So I don't know. With all that being said, though, we do have our first mimosa, so cheers to that. Okay, well, clearly first impressions aren't the best, but we've got our plate here. We're going to grab our plate and take it up to the buffet, and I'll show you guys what they got. I do happen to really like all of the food at Chefs de France, as well as the bakery here in the France Pavilion, and I have a feeling a lot of the food here is going to be from the France bakery, so I think it's going to be Very, very good. Now, as I'm getting up, I am seeing they actually did use the entire restaurant for this breakfast. It is pretty much completely filled up. So they just added a bunch of extra tables. I don't know what's going on, but they really, really stuffed these reservations. I feel like they should have held back a little bit because it is busy in here, guys. Like, it is so busy. But with that being said, the entire center of the restaurant here is pretty much used for the buffet. So I want to show you guys around and show you guys a little bit of what they have, starting right here with what I believe is the meats and the cheeses. So we've got a little bit of everything here. So it's not really looking like this side is refilling that fast, so maybe I will come back to this over here because it looks like also those ham and cheese sandwiches are empty and the meats, and I don't know what was supposed to be over here, so maybe we'll go to another station. All right, this is more like it, and pretty much every single station, there are 4 of them, has the exact same thing on them. So we start off with our assorted cheeses, again, some type of blue cheese in the back, and then some type of other cheese right here. This is, I believe it says a walnut raisin bread. And then of course this is gonna be some brie cheese. I know that one for sure. This is definitely some type of ham. And then right back over here we have some meats. I do not believe they are labeled as to what they are, just says assorted meats. So we have some sausages, some other maybe type of salami, and some type of prosciutto back there, as well as some mustard. And then here, this looks really good here. This is the croque monsieur. Now they do serve this in the bakery as well, and I have had it, and it is quite delicious. Back here we have a quiche. It looks like maybe some sun-dried tomatoes on top. This is going to be our smoked salmon here, and then some type of smoked salmon dip. They are going to be slicing up some baguettes fresh, and then they've got some jams for you to pair with your baguette. They've got some raspberry jam, and then what is over here? Some hazelnut spread as well. No bon maman on this bar here. If you know, you know. And then we've breaking into some more pastries. This is a ham and cheese croissant here that looks really good as well. This is a chocolate chip Swiss roll. Back there is an almond Danish. They have an almond Danish in the bakery that I really like, so I'm hoping that's a little bit similar. There's an egg croissant back on the right, a chocolate croissant kind of in the center right, and then on the left side here, there's just a ton of croissants. Those look so good. I can't wait to have one of them. These are some orange brioche right here. I have no idea what that entails. I've never had one of them. And then we finish out with some fruits, and it looks like some type of parfait with some yogurt on the side there. Now, like I said, there are 4 stations to this buffet, all 4 of which are the exact same, which doesn't really make much sense since there isn't a lot of variety on the buffet to begin with. I feel like there should be a little bit more variety, or some of them should have a little bit of switch up here. I don't really know. Either way, the pastries and stuff look really delicious. So I'm gonna make myself a plate with a little bit of everything. I'm gonna taste it all out, and I'll show you guys what I get. Well, I came back to the table and my mimosa glass was filled. Also, I am here with Promise, so cheers to a refilled mimosa. And when I came back, Promise actually let me know that I was missing the most important thing on the plate. She told me that there was goat cheese on the buffet that I didn't even see because the buffet wasn't stocked when I was up there, so I had to go back up and get myself some goat cheese. That was your favorite thing that you tried so far on plate number 1?
So far, it was my favorite thing I tried, and immediately I was like, Kristen is going to love this. Out of everything on the plate, I think it'll be your favorite.
Okay, well, you know I love goat cheese, so I can't wait to dig into that. I did go up literally specifically to get a ball of goat cheese. Well, aside from the goat cheese, let me show you guys what else I got. So I decided to get one of those ham and cheese sandwiches, which is on some like really crusty toast. I don't know why they didn't put this on a baguette. It also has some bechamel on top, and it's very, very cold. None of this food is hot, by the way. None of it. I've got a quiche. I've got a croissant. I got some what I thought was ham, but it kind of looks like it might be turkey now. I've got a slice of brie. I'm going to put this on the baguette, and I got, of course, what I told you, that goat cheese, which I'm also going to put on the baguette. I guess we shall start with the quiche here, and I'm not really sure sure what's in it because it, again, was not labeled. The labels on this buffet are not the best. It literally just says quiche. I feel like it should say bacon and cheese and sun-dried tomato quiche or whatever is in it. I feel like there should be more specific labels on this so we know kind of what we're eating, but I'm just eating a quiche. I have no idea what is inside of this other than the fact that there are sun-dried tomatoes on top of this quiche. And again, this is cold. The flavor from those sun-dried tomatoes is really delicious. I like the flavor that that's giving. I cannot taste anything else, although I will say it tastes very, very creamy. And I'm not sure if that's like undercooked eggs or if that's like cream or cheese or what it is. Either way, the filling tastes really good. The pastry tastes good, however, it's not like a flaky, buttery pastry that you usually get with a quiche. Like, it's more of like just a harder, non-flaky pastry. Like, the quiche over at the Cake Bake Shop next door on the boardwalk has the most flaky, delicious pastry crust I have ever had. And that's one of the only compliments I'll give the Cake Bake Shop on their quiche. It's fantastic. That crust is far better. This isn't like that buttery, flaky crust. It's still good, don't get me wrong, but it's just not the best of crust. And it's also cold, so I wish it was warm. I don't know why they don't serve this on like a warming tray or something. I can't imagine that would be that difficult to do. Flavor's good on the filling though. Our other interesting thing that we've got is the croque monsieur, which again, cold. We've got a couple slices of ham in there, some slices of cheese on this interesting bread. It kind of looks like a croissant, this bread, like a sliced croissant. Like, you see how like the layers are in that? I don't know, but I think it's some type of toasted bread. You think it's sourdough? Yeah. We shall see. It's very toasty. I don't know, because it kind of does taste like a dried out croissant. It tastes like a very dry, maybe day-old croissant bread. I love the thick ham that they use. I mean, it's the same like ham and cheese that they use on the croque monsieur in the bakery. It's just the bread that's different, and the bread that they use in the bakery is far better. I don't know why they put it on this bread. I feel like what I'll end up doing is taking the ham and cheese out of that bread and just like putting it on a baguette. Is that what you did too, Promise? Yeah, because it's so good. This bread isn't good. It's so hard and crumbly. Like
I've been putting everything on.
Yeah, because the baguettes here in the France Pavilion are just absolutely fantastic, and they're slicing them fresh up there, as you saw. So this is not good bread, which I can't believe I'm saying because the bread usually here in the France Pavilion is so good. This isn't it. I mean, you saw when I bit down on that, it just like crumbled apart, and I was like, ugh.
No crunch.
Yeah, that is not good. But I'll take that off and put it on the baguette. But guys, I need to drink up. Our time is dwindling. I got to get my $65 worth here in these mimosas. Let's see this buttery croissant. I don't know if I've ever had any of the croissants. Just a plain croissant from the France bakery. I've had it in like a sandwich, but I don't know if I've ever just had like a croissant plain. It's good. It definitely tastes a step above like a Costco croissant. Nothing against a Costco croissant because those Costco croissants, they hit. But it does taste a step above that for sure. But Promise got me hyped about this goat cheese. I've got to dig into this goat cheese here. It has some herbs around the outside. I hope is it like a garlic herb goat cheese?
I don't think it's garlicky.
Not garlicky?
It doesn't need it because the goat cheese has that pungent. But the herb gives it a nice little vegetable flair.
Ooh. The goat cheese itself almost has like a little bit of a lemony kind of flavor to go along with that herby flavor. And it's obviously so soft and so creamy. I love any type of goat cheese. And pair it with this extra crunchy but soft baguette. I mean, you really cannot go wrong with that. It is the perfect combo. So far, my favorite bite. Easily. Promise was right. We could just make a meal of this. We could come here, get a couple slices of baguette, get a couple goat cheese balls, and just come here and drink mimosas. before a day in the World Showcase. That wouldn't be the worst start to your day. I don't know. For our final cheese, or our final bite on this little savory plate we've got going on, I want to pair the brie cheese and a little bite of this ham, if it is ham, with our croissants. So we'll put a little bit of brie. I also love brie cheese. These are probably two of my favorite cheeses, goat cheese and brie cheese. So they've got two of my favorite cheeses. You'll love to see it. Brie, ham, and croissant. How can you go wrong? And they give you good hunks of brie here. And again, thick cut ham. I definitely think it was ham. So, yeah. I mean, that was another great bite. All right, I just came over to make my second plate, and I realized that they cleared out half of the buffet. So there are only 2 tables of the buffet left. And I noticed they did this actually way before. It is 10 o'clock, but this was done a lot earlier, and it's crazy because they cannot even keep these 2 sides of the buffet stocked properly, and they've already cleared out half of the buffet. So that's a little crazy. And Promise just had a shocking revelation here. What just happened at the buffet?
So I did kind of a savory plate first, then wanted to make a sweet plate. Well, by the time I got to my sweet plate, the main dish that I was excited for, which is like a silly little parfait, was gone. And I asked all the cast members, like, are they coming back out? And they were like, nope, they're just gone. So like parfait with fruit on it, I don't really know how you run out of that. And it's definitely something I was looking forward to having, especially that wasn't a carb or a bread item.
That is a massive issue, in my opinion. We are paying $65 for a breakfast. You can't restock a yogurt parfait? You can't just make them? I don't know. If you're running out, that's fine, but you should be restocking that right away. When Promise told me that, I was literally flabbergasted. Okay, well, moving on to plate number 2 here, I kind of decided to get all of the different pastries that they got. So I got this ham and cheese croissant that they got going on, a chocolate croissant. What is this?
That's the egg.
This is an egg croissant?
Yeah. So it's a little scrambled egg on top.
A scrambled egg? That looks like cheese. I don't know. This is that almond pastry. This is another chocolate thing, and then this is the orange layered dessert. I forget the exact name, but we're gonna do a taste test of all of them. But before we do, another mimosa, and I will say they are very on top of the mimosa refills, which I definitely do appreciate. They're walking around with a carafe of pre-made mimosas, and as soon as your mimosa gets like about halfway done, they are more than eager to just come over and refill it. So as you can see right behind me, as soon as they say you need a refill, they're like, and you're like, and they definitely come over right away and refill it, which again is something that I appreciate. Promise got me a little excited to try this pastry here, this egg pastry. Not excited. I shouldn't be excited. Okay, I'm interested.
It would be good if it was warm.
It'd be good if it was warm. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm interested, I guess you could say. It would be good if it was warm. It looks like cheese on the top, but then once you bite into it, it looks like quiche. You're totally right. The flavor's there. The flaky croissant dough is there, but it needs to be warm. I don't know why it's so difficult for them to just have like a hot plate. Yeah, like they don't even need to have like the water tray. Like literally just a hot surface. That's all they need to just serve some of the pastries on. I mean, even the baguette and the croissants would be good on that. And speaking of croissants, we got a chocolate croissant right here. I mean, you really can't go wrong with, again, you just can't go wrong with the pastries for the most part in France. Like, it's a great chocolate croissant. I mean, so flaky, so layery. I could always use more chocolate in a chocolate croissant, but for the most part, it's great. And this is some type of chocolate pastry as well. I forget exactly what it is, but I'm putting on the screen what it was called right now, but we'll see how it tastes. I feel like this is a chocolate croissant, just in like muffin tin form. It tastes exactly like a chocolate croissant. And this is what I'm excited for. It looks like it has some mixed berry in it, actually. The almond pastry, because one of my favorite things to get from Les Halles, the bakery here in France, is this almond like croissant that they have. It is so good. One of my roommates used to work here in the France bakery, and she used to be able to bring home pastries sometimes, and every time I'd be like, get me the almond one. It was so good, so I hope it's like similar. Definitely has that almond paste and a little bit of berry in there, and again, just like flaky deliciousness of dough. And this is going to be flaky deliciousness as well. This orange. Flaky dough, but no orange flavor, that's for sure. It has like no flavor. It just tastes like dough, but it's flaky. And the dough is good. It's just like not sweet dough, which I actually like kind of enjoy because I don't enjoy sweet things. So this is like a good dessert for me, actually. And our final thing here on our plate. Why'd I save the savory thing for last? I should have went sweet last, you know? But this ham and cheese croissant. Again, this just needs to be warm and melty, which is crazy because you could spend like, I think it's under $10 to get a ham and cheese croissant at the bakery next door, and they will warm it up for you for $0 extra. We're spending $65 on a breakfast, and they can't even warm it up for you. I don't know. I need another sip of mimosa. Oh, thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Some more champagne. Oh yeah, and it's just the good stuff. Thank you. Oh.
All right, now they're just filling us up.
We got a refill of just champagne. It's like, what is it? Like, what time is it?
5 minutes left.
10:26. We got 4 minutes left, and we got just a refill of champagne. Should I just drink the whole thing? He said he's bringing another bottle for promise. But yeah, we're just about done here. I'm just enjoying the last couple bites of my goat cheese. I got both of my plates here, my sweet, my savory plate. Still got a little bit of goat cheese left. Now I got my glass of champagne. We're just gonna hang out, enjoy our last couple bites. And we're gonna head out, and I'll tell you guys my overall review. All right, we have made it outside of Chefs de France, and I definitely have a lot of thoughts, and I wanna share them with you guys. I wanna start by saying that I generally enjoyed the food. I thought a lot of what I tried was tasty, which again comes as no surprise because I really enjoy the food at Chefs de France, and I really enjoy the food at the bakery here in the France Pavilion. All the pastries, all the baguettes that they serve in this pavilion are for the most part amazing, other than the food at Monsieur Paul, which is another story. But there are definitely some issues with this breakfast here that I want to point out. And we'll start off with the wait to get in, which I mentioned in the beginning of this video. I do not think you should have to stand in a line for an extended period of time in the sun to get into this restaurant, cutting into your time in this breakfast here. You have a limited time. This breakfast is from 9 o'clock to 10:30, and I want to say they are serving you throughout that entire time. They are walking around with champagne, with mimosas throughout that entire time. They are doing a good job at really refilling your glass throughout that entire time. They refilled our glass of champagne of mimosas right up until 10:30, and that buffet stayed up until 10:30 on the dot. But we had an hour and a half. We should not be going to a timed experience and having a portion of that time taken over by standing in a line outside. If they're gonna have a timed experience, they should be letting people in maybe 15 minutes early to account for the amount of people that are waiting in line because they only have one time of reservation. By just letting people in at 8:45, you're allowing people to be seated and fulfill that entire time of their dining experience of that 1 hour and 30 minutes, which I want to say, a lot of people did not stay for that entire hour and 30 minutes. A lot of people actually left early, which for me, if I'm paying $65 for a breakfast, I'm staying that entire time. I want to get my money's worth. So I would stay that entire time, but I do think they need to change that. They need to start letting people in about 15 minutes early. If you are here on time, if you are here a little bit early, you should be able to get seated at the proper time. The other thing I want to mention, this breakfast is beyond chaotic. There are so many people in that restaurant that it was almost hard to enjoy and hard to relax in the beginning. Those tables are stuffed with people. There are people running around everywhere around you. When I have a breakfast early in the morning, I want to sit back, relax, I want to sip on a mimosa, and it is very hard to enjoy your time there and do so because there are just so many people. I really think they need to limit the amount of reservations and take away some of those reservations so that people can enjoy their time and have a more relaxed breakfast experience. The amount of people in that restaurant really hindered my experience personally, and I feel like if it were less crowded in there, I would have had a way more enjoyable time. And again, I know this was mentioned when making your reservation, but if you're spending that much money on breakfast, you should not have to sit with other people while enjoying your breakfast. I don't know that many people that would want to sit at another table physically with another party and eat breakfast. I mean, I don't know if there's any other way to put that. I don't want to sit with another party to eat breakfast. Another thing I noticed, there were children in there. I feel like this should be an adults-only experience. Not only do I feel like it is not worth it for children to dine here for breakfast, but I feel like this is more of an adults-only vibe, and I feel like this should be adults only. So I feel like it should be like a 21 plus age requirement, or at least 18 plus. And then a couple other things that I already mentioned in the video. The food was not labeled properly. The labels need to be way better, way more clear, actually say what is in said pastries, actually describe what is in said pastries, actually say what meats, what cheeses they are, what is in the quiche. And I feel like the biggest complaint with all this food amongst everyone that is gonna be dining here is stuff needs to be heated up. I feel like it cannot take much extra effort to just add some type of hot plate or hot tray. Some of this food needs to be served warm 100%, and there's just no way around that. Some of that stuff needs to be hot. Also, the restocking of the buffet. They didn't do a great job of restocking that buffet. A lot of the times when I went up, a lot of this stuff was just completely empty or not even there. In the beginning, I didn't even know that there was goat cheese on the buffet because it just simply wasn't at either of the buffets that I went to. And they just like abandoned some of the buffets very early on into the morning. And they weren't even restocking the other buffets that they had there. So the restocking of the buffets was very poor. They need to be way more on top of it and just be putting stuff out there way more quickly. Now, obviously, a lot of this buffet is going to be carbs, is going to be pastries, breads of that sort. I feel like there are some things that they could add to make that $65 price tag a little more worth it. I think one thing they could add is a crepe station. I feel like having a crepe station would be really cool. Having someone make crepes just like right at one of the buffet stations would be great. They obviously already have crepes. They already serve crepes here in the France Pavilion, and having someone just kind of like whipping up crepes on the side, I think that would add a ton of value. I think another thing that would add a ton of value would be having someone making like French omelets. I think that would be another great idea because you need something more than like breads. Having some type of like egg dish like that would be great, and again, add a ton of value because really the only value that you're gonna find in this buffet here is with the mimosas. So with all that being said, if you're gonna drink a ton of mimosas, I do feel like this breakfast at the end of the day is worth it because they are doing a great job of refilling your mimosas. They are coming around so frequently and really keeping a good eye on your glass and making sure that your cup is always full. I don't think I went more than like literally maybe 30 seconds without a full glass on my table. So if you're planning on drinking a ton of mimosas, I'd still say the Chefs de France breakfast is still worth it. And everything that I pointed out are just like operational issues that I feel like could easily be fixed. And I hope they are fixed because I feel like this is a great offering. They used to have a breakfast here at Chefs de France, and I am very happy that they brought it back here. And I do think that is something that is a great addition to Epcot, and I hope it does stay around. I hope it stays past the Food and Wine Festival. I think it should, but there are just some very tiny operational issues that if they change them, I think this could be very successful, and I think it could be something that I come back to often. So you guys will have to let me know down below in the comments. Are you planning on checking out Chefs de France breakfast? Do you think it's worth it? Leave me a comment letting me know down below. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Thank you to everyone over on Patreon. I appreciate your support. If you enjoy honest Disney food reviews, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.